Greetings, this is Kevin Jefferson with this week's Trade Theory on August 12th, 2025. Today is Tuesday, and this is the Bitcoin chart. We're going to start by looking at where price has been and where it's going. We had price dip down into this area. We spoke about that previously. I set this 4-hour pullback point to see if price wanted to consider making another move downwards. It went through that point, pulled back briefly, and continued higher. An upside area of interest is around the 120,067 and 18 cents area. Price closing above there would actually reestablish a bullish or a technically bullish disposition for Bitcoin, but currently it's still bearish. And I have a reset point that I set down here at the roughly the 113,838 level, where price could possibly pull back to. But no matter what the close is today, I would expect, don't expect, well, if it closes higher, it may continue going higher. But at some point, I'm expecting price to come back and retrace over this movement that it's had over the last couple of weeks. So definitely watching Bitcoin. It's at a place to where I wouldn't be buying. I would be watching for a potential pullback on a lower level to take it short. But I'm just going to watch it, because if price comes back down here, then it may give us an opportunity to buy back into it, or it may actually eclipse this previous inflection point and go lower to this downside target that I set on the 6th of August. So we're at the point of just watching and waiting and seeing what price wants to do with Bitcoin. So essentially, I'm standing aside on Bitcoin today. Moving on to WTI crude oil, price is continuing to move lower as we had predicted, or actually hypothesized almost a month ago. So price hit the first downside target that we set on the 23rd of July of roughly 63,948. Now price is hitting the second downside target that we set on the 23rd of July at 62,459 in that area, and then we'll see if price wants to come down and hit our last downside target of $60.59 that we set back on July 23rd off of this major pullback point, the weekly that we set back in June of this year. So price is steadily moving down, with oil is actually behaving according to our hypothesis. So we have been shorting oil on this chart, and it is showing up very well for us in profits right now based on what's happening. All right, we're going to move on to gold. So gold is actually starting to retreat, and I actually am bearish on gold now. So weren't sure what price was going to go to. People have been talking about 4,000. Not expecting that to happen, obviously, anytime in the next couple of days, or maybe even the next couple of weeks. But price has shown very clearly right here to me that price wants to continue downside. So I have this possible max upside target from last week, which price has not hit. And based on what I see here, price could move back up here. Anything's possible, but from what I see, technically speaking, I have this downside target obviously was hit on the way moving back up here. So we talked about that back a week or so ago. But the take profit target number one for today is roughly down at the, what is that, the 3211.58, so 3,211.58. So that's not a major move, but about 137 points from where it is now. So we'll watch that. That's where I have the first take profit for gold, and then we'll watch to see what happens after that. No need to set any more than that one, because of it's finally starting to lose the momentum and give us the opportunity to take sell trades on gold. So I'm bearish on gold currently as we speak, and would be completely fine with taking a sell trade on it today and watching it play out over the next several weeks. Okay, going on to the US 30. Price has, this is kind of busy because we did a lot of marking up on it. So it hit that pullback point back on July 8th, which we know. It's almost at the pullback point, or right at the pullback point that I think before it could possibly resume going back short. So I'm going to watch for price at around the 44,543.15 area, 44,543. If price doesn't close above there, I'm expecting price to potentially retreat back down to the 43,583.04 area as downside target number one. Downside target number two is 42,970.80. And then as I had the daily expected pullback back on the 23rd of July, downside target number three coincides very nicely with that at about 42,497.71. So not taking anything from a trade standpoint on here, but looking at this price to stall out right around the 44,557.06 area, And then if it retreats on there, I'm looking for possibly what's this day, Tuesday. So it may work out that confirmation over the next 3 days, but maybe there will be a sell opportunity to start next week on the Dow Jones. So definitely looking like the Dow could be starting to lose some momentum. Now, NASDAQ is not necessarily the same. It's actually very tech heavy, so there's a lot of upside movement on this one. We may have a reset point at some point or at some period of time down to the 22,988.50 area. But right now, price is continuing higher. And as I mentioned in the previous video last week, that I have an upside target here set based on the momentum up here at the roughly the 26,390.10 area. So definitely a lot of upside on there, but price, I'm not saying to go straight up there, obviously, but that's the upside potential. And we'll just watch to see first what price does in the near term based on this possible reset point here. All right, and then wrapping it up with the S&P 500, similar to the NASDAQ, it hit basically pinned our pullback point on the 23rd, which we spoke to, and now I have a possible reset point, even though its price is going up, down at the roughly the 62.94.67 area. And just like the NASDAQ, I had an upside target set here as well, where price could potentially reach over the coming months of roughly, let's see what that sign says, roughly 72.46.46. So there's a lot of upside opportunity. Just want to make sure that you get in at an efficient entry point if you're going to buy in, and then go from there. So that's your analysis for this week. Just recapping real quickly. Bitcoin, going back to that chart. Bitcoin is still bearish, but trying to move into technically bullish territory, having trouble breaking above that 119.98647 and sustaining. So we're looking for possible downside targets there, depending on what price does over the next 24 hours with that. On WTI crude, we're just continuing to allow the downside to clear out these targets that we've set. We got 2 of those targets taken out. Now we're looking for the 3rd target down at that lower level. And then we're going to go back up to gold, which has become bearish and started losing momentum. So we have downside targets set there as well. The next take profit down to 32.10 area. So we'll be looking at that. And then the US 30 looks like it's going to be losing some momentum maybe in the next day or so, but we'll watch it for the rest of this week to see if it's ready to go bearish. And then the NASDAQ and S&P obviously is showing that they're still moving pretty well into up higher territory. So we'll just watch those and wait till they give us an opportunity to maybe re-enter at a pullback point. So I hope this was helpful to you guys. And if you have any questions, shoot me a message. And until next time, enjoy the day. Happy trading.